Hello, welcome to the Baking Mad Kitchen. I'm going to show you how to cover your celebration cake with ready to roll icing. So once you've marzipaned your cake upside down, so you've got a nice flat surface, just brush it with a little bit of alcohol. That stops the icing sugar in between the icing and the marzipan from fermenting. So use something like vodka or gin, just a clear alcohol really. You don't need a lot, don't put too much on, it's just enough to dampen it to act as a glue. And then when you're ready to roll your icing, open the packet. Don't do this any earlier than you need to because icing must never dry out. So if for any reason you're delayed, just cover your icing with cling film or something airtight because it will dry out and get a crust very quickly. So give it a little bit of knead. Now again, don't be tempted to put too much icing sugar on the work surface because you'll alter the consistency of the icing. So you just want to give it a little bit of a knead. And if there are any dry patches in the icing, it's the warmth of your hand that will bring the icing together. So just a little bit of icing sugar and the warmth of your hand is going to do it. And don't work it too much again because you'll dry it out. And I can't emphasize too much, don't add too much icing sugar to it. So once you've got it into a nice ball, I like to sort of flatten it out a bit first. And then you need to measure your cake either with string or in this case my rolling pin's about the right size. So if I roll it about the size of my rolling pin, I should be fine. Now a little bit of icing sugar on the work surface, not too much, and just a little bit on your rolling pin. And roll it, trying to keep it in a circle and keep it moving, lift it up, get a little bit more icing sugar underneath it and keep it rolling. Whatever you do, you don't want it to stick to the work surface. So lift it up, move it onto the icing sugar and turn it. And make it just a little bit bigger than you want it. So, you know it's not stuck, flip it over your rolling pin, bring your cake in and put the bottom edge of the icing onto the board and flip it over your cake. Now because it's quite elastic, you can pull it, you can manipulate it, and you want that nice drape because what you're going to do is again ease it onto the cake. You don't want any creases. You're using this part of your hand to tuck the icing in and avoid those pleats. And if you get a pleat, you just lift it up and ease that out. You really don't want any pleats in there. And you've got to have that skirt of icing to be able to lift it up and to push it into the side of the cake. So it might seem like you've got a lot left over, but that's what makes it easy to do. Now if you can angle the knife slightly in towards the cake, go all the way around. Not absolutely up against the cake, slightly away from it. And then any trimmings you've got, set to one side and cover, and then you should be able to push that edge down and it should fit neatly against the board. Now if you can get one of these cake smoothers from a cake decorating store, it will really make It polishes the side of your cake, it gets rid of all your fingerprints, and you can smooth out any little creases, any little marks that you make in the icing, and you'll get a nice flat side. And then just with a warm hand, just polish it off. And there you have a nice smooth fondant or ready rolled iced cake.